Yes, she got a protection order. No, I didn't know that there was even a fucking court date. How could have I, how could I have shown up for a court date that I didn't even know I had? How is that even possible? It's not. How is it possible for me to stalk somebody at their house when I don't even know where the fuck they live? How is that possible? Now, obviously, with Natalie getting on Facebook after the whole fucking pretending like I stalked her bullshit, after the fucking giving me the protection order and all of that, she continued to stalk my Facebook and she continued to play on things that if you go back and you look through all of it, you can tell she had to hop over the parts where I was literally explaining I was going to see Miss Peaches so that she could give me a ride to go see Miss Natalie, who said that she wanted to meet me. You can look at the fucking evidence, but did people want to do that? No. They wanted to look at just the videos from like 2 or 3 days prior to her disappearance, and that was about it. Natalie Bollinger, it's obvious based on her statements, like when she claimed that I had walked over 100 blocks. She said, Sean said he walked over 100 blocks. Walked right past my house. I walked up Federal to go to Miss Peaches because Miss Natalie was going to meet me in Boulder. I was living all the way in fucking Inglewood. None of this shit fucking happened in Boulder. Well, actually, that's not true. A lot of shit happened to me in Boulder. But guess how many times I called her from Boulder? None. Guess how many times I messaged her from fucking Boulder? None. You know what I did when people did that shit in Boulder? I fucking left. I went somewhere else. I went somewhere where I wasn't fucking abused. You say, hey, Sean, you need to move on. I fucking did. I drove 1,700 miles the fuck away from Virginia because I already knew that them two fucking junkies getting busted with that shit were not going to fucking turn in their dealer. I knew when I was fucking having difficulties with that goddamn phone that if I wasn't able to go show them what the fuck was going on, that it was going to be a fucking shitty situation for me. I needed my phone. That's my fucking safety network. Having a phone that doesn't fucking work, and you know, I was able to make it just barely function when I left. The only reason I was able to make it just barely function is because a guy who works at Food Lion helped me with that. And not that it matters, not that any of y'all care, but he was a black man. Fucking racist ass goddamn Nebraskan pieces of fucking shit. Like, what the fuck? I have posted up all sorts of fucking evidence. Evidence that should have been shown in fucking court. Public pretenders do not fucking even pretend to defend the homeless. They went out of their way to not have court if people showed up in support of me. And it's not like it was a lot of fucking people. Every time it was people I had to fucking beg to go with me. People I had to fucking pay to go with me. When Graham went with me to go to my grandma's fucking funeral, I paid for everything. I paid for the gas to get there. I paid for the gas to get back. I paid for his meals. I paid for his fucking pot. Yes, there's pot in Chapel, Nebraska. Is there a town in Nebraska where you're not going to find pot? No. No. It is likely at least half the citizens of Nebraska, if not more, smoke pot. There's also the fact that much like most of the... Let me tell you how Colorado worked. Myself and a lot of other people went door to door to get signatures so that marijuana would be legal in the state of Colorado for anybody who is at least 21 years of age or older. And this was not the first time I did this. I mean, the first few times we tried, we got the signatures. We had enough signatures. But they wouldn't put it on the ballot. Now, when Amendment 64 passed, we're like, yeah, you know, now some of these other states, they're going to see how Colorado's able to fund their schools with this money. How they're able to get a much higher education for their children with this money. But that's not what happened, is it? Nope, the other states wanted to be slow. Colorado wanted to be slow about putting out those numbers because they were afraid of the federal government coming and crashing in on them. Well, the federal government doesn't have the right to do so. That's why they didn't. But we got an influx of every fucking stoner idiot from every other fucking state. We're talking about the most paranoid of the fucking paranoid. We're talking about the guys who, despite the fact that they smoke weed, despite the fact that in their state, it's a fucking felony to have it internally. That means in your system. In a lot of states, it's only illegal to be in possession of it. It's not illegal to smoke it. It's not illegal to have it inside of your system. It's illegal to be in possession of it, but internal possession is not a law in that particular state. Nebraska happens to be like that. Kansas, on the other hand, is an internal possession state. So we got all these fucking potheads that want to move to Colorado, and you're meeting all these new potheads. You got this guy from New York who's a complete and total fucking douchebag to everybody. You got this douchebag from California who's a complete and fucking total douche to everybody. They're both fucking loud about it, and they're both thinking that it's okay to be assholes like that. No, we're a bunch of fucking potheads in Colorado. We want to smoke our weed and be left the fuck alone. No, I don't want to smoke weed and talk about fucking weed all day. No, I don't want to fucking smoke weed with somebody who treats me fucking completely like shit. No, I did not fight to get marijuana legal so that assholes would move into Colorado and fucking fuck up the whole goddamn state. And a lot of those guys, I'm like, hey, why don't you, I don't know, you're from Rhode Island, why don't you vote for it to be legal in Rhode Island? No, man, you can't fucking do that. That'll get you put on a government watch list. Fuck no, I was smart. Every time it came on the ballot, I voted no. I'm like, and you're a fucking idiot for that. You're an idiot for that. The whole time you were in that state smoking fucking pot, not making any goddamn effort to make it legal because you're fucking paranoid. Well, shit, if pot makes you a paranoid asshole, stop fucking smoking it. Problem fucking solved. If pot makes you a paranoid asshole, don't fucking come to Colorado. Now, obviously, I'm not in Colorado, right? So when I say come to Colorado, that's not some schizophrenic thing where I think I'm in Colorado. It's that I'm trying to explain to you that at that point in time, that was what was going through my head. That was going through a lot of Colorado folks' head. Like, holy shit, we got an influx of the biggest fucking assholes in the country, and they're all fucking cowards. These guys were too big of fucking pussies to vote for legalization in their own goddamn states, so they got to come to ours and fuck it up. Meanwhile, there's folks who go, well, you weren't born in Colorado, so you're not a Colorado native, so you don't fucking matter. Whatever. I was born in Nebraska too, but I don't hate black people, I don't hate Mexicans, and I don't beat on women. So, I mean, really, I'm not Nebraskan either. I don't put on a Klan robe. I don't call Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day International something N-word day. I'm the guy who walks down the street in Chapel, Nebraska, and people call him N-word lover. That's right, that's me. Look up Chapel, Nebraska KKK. I want you to look that up. Nebraska's largest collection of KKK memorabilia was found in the attic of the county fucking prosecutor's office in Dual County, Nebraska. That's Chapel, Nebraska. And then they want to play like their racism is okay. Well, we're all Americans. American flag. Let's put a giant American flag on the side of the grain bins. Those of you who don't know what a grain bin is, it's also known as a grain elevator. And I want you to look up the grain elevator in Chapel. It's supposed to be America's largest painted American flag. Woohoo! Go Broncos and shit, right? Take a look at their courts. Listen to the court date with me. Go back through and listen to all of the calls that I made to the Dual County Sheriff's Department. All of the occasions where they were outside of Dallas Richmond's house speaking with me. How many times they told me, well, to go to people that I did go to. Those people didn't even try looking. They wanted to pass judgment. They wanted to tell me that they were afraid to help me. The people were pressuring them not to help me. The people were telling them not to have me there. Blah, blah this and blah, blah that. I'm like, hey, you need to come forward about that, dude. You need to come forward about that. If I say it, I get treated like I'm a fucking wingnut. Of course, then when they're mad at me, that's when they want to throw it in my face, don't they? Don't they? Just like I said with all of these people. I admitted the truth. These folks thought that hiding the truth was helping me, that not admitting these things was helping me. No, dude, that doesn't help me. Omitting information is not helping me. Telling me something you're not telling the cops is not helping me. We did have a discussion about that on more than one occasion. He wanted to tell me about his depression and his problems and his money problems and his this problems and his that problems. And, you know, when Harley came over, she was the same way. Her this and her that. And I'm like, you know what? I offered everybody $20 an hour to fucking help me. I will pay you $20 an hour to help me. Well, that's kind of difficult to get Dallas motivated because he's an alcoholic. It's difficult to get Harley motivated because she's an alcoholic. You offer him money to do work. It's kind of like a lot of people, they stop and they ask somebody who's homeless and fly in a sign, hey man, you want a job? Well, there's a lot of those homeless people that they don't want a job. They've been harassed by the fucking cops already. They already know that it's only a matter of weeks before they're fucking sitting in jail on trumped up charges if they don't get the fuck out of town. No, they don't want to fucking work. They want to get the fuck out of town. Or they got an injury and you're asking them, hey man, I need a lumper. I'm a bricklayer. I need a lumper to fucking drag shit around the job site. If you ask me to do that, I'm going to tell you no because I'm not fucking stupid. I know I can't. I know how fucked up my back is. I can't do that job. If I turn you down for that work, it's because I can't fucking do it. I am fucking disabled. I get paid for being disabled because I'm fucking disabled. It's disability that I am paid for being disabled. But then there's, of course, the ones that they just don't want to. They're lazy. They've gotten to the point where they're downtrodden by society. They don't want to fucking take part in it. Or, quite simply put, you know what? They're only $2 away from their next fucking bottle. No, they're not going to go to work with you for a full day. They can sit there for 2 hours and almost guaranteed they'll make $2 at least in change in that 2 hours. And then they'll be able to go buy their fucking booze instead of having a seizure on your fucking job site. When you hear a homeless person say they need to get well, they got a severe addiction and they're gonna have a fucking seizure if they don't get their whatever. Those seizures are most common with alcoholics. And those seizures kill people. But that don't fit your fucking narrative, do it? And then there's those of us who basically, in order to try to clean up the community and to try to fix the image created by those people for everybody who's homeless, and to try to do something about the image that every homeless person must be a child molester, and that every homeless person must be a this and must be a that, must be a thief, must be a fucking heroin addict, must be a, like, Jesus fuck. You guys ever fucking let up on us? No, you fucking don't. When we try to fucking defend ourselves, you make every excuse why we're not fucking allowed and shouldn't be allowed. And it's that bias, those fucking wives' tales. You can see that all throughout the Natalie situation. It come down to looks. It come down to gender. It come down to people pretending they was Christian. The Bollinger family are the most unchristian family that there fucking is. The Kelly family isn't much different. They continued to harass me with their friends, continued to threaten my life, continued to play fucking head games, pretended like they were gonna help me. And of course, they were all working together the whole time to fucking gaslight me. And even with abundant fucking evidence out in the open for everyone to fucking see, well, you get to see that these sites, there's one guy on there, he wants to, of course, they want to argue. This guy wants to argue with this person and say, oh, well, he did stalk her. He did, and he's typing big fucking caps. He did do this. And of course, this person is typing to him, dude, they found the guy that did it, and you're focusing on the guy who didn't. You know, they did in those messages, those people were pointing out, no, Sean has been telling the truth. Some of them got shit wrong, but that's, of course, not my fault. They haven't come to me to get that information. That person, Mimi, well, here's the problem with Mimi. Mimi says that she won't give out her email because she rarely reads it anyway. So, I mean, you know, just because somebody is being supportive on one of those groups, it doesn't mean that they're looking at evidence. When they get something wrong or have an assumption that's wrong, you know, I'm willing to send them the evidence. A lot of that stuff I have there and fucking handy. If I get my laptop to run for a few minutes, I could take the evidence that's on there. Because on the desktop application, it's a lot different than the phone application. There's a lot of stuff you can't do on the phone. There's a lot of stuff that I was put on Facebook bans for that's not against Facebook regulations or rules. And if I'd have been able to contest it, well, I wouldn't have been on a Facebook ban. There's a lot of people that got angry at me because I wouldn't answer them immediately when they were typing at me. And they would type the most fucking horrible shit at me. And you get to see this has been perpetuated by these groups. And then folks say, oh, well, you know, this is all your fault. If you weren't on the... Fuck you. I didn't make those things. I didn't spread that slander. I didn't fucking continue spreading that slander. And I have maintained my fucking innocence to this day. Now, there are 2 separate occasions where I pled guilty to shit that 3 separate occasions where I pled guilty to shit that I shouldn't have. And on all 3 of those occasions, it's because, well, my predators lied. And of course, with Rayanne Ingersoll, before she died, yeah, I got a fucking recording with her where she does admit that. She admits that she did it because she was angry. Now, why was she angry? What were me and her fighting about at that point in time? Her getting drunk and fucking smacking them kids around. Her saying, all right, Sean, well, those girls can't go to the bathroom one at a time. They have to go together. And they need to go with an adult. And I'm telling her, I don't want to go with them, all right? I'm a male. I'm not in charge of these kids. You took them. I'm helping you best I can, but you cannot make me the responsible one in this. Amy didn't dump her kids on me. She dumped them on you. She's like, Sean, I need you to back me up on this. I need you to back me up on this. I need you to back me up on this. Like, all right, I can do that. I can absolutely do that. You know, those girls need to stay in view of one or both of us at all points in time. But Rihanna, when she's too drunk to fucking stand up and she's cramping from standing up, like, at that point, I'm like, Jesus, fuck, this is not cool, because I already know what's going to happen. I'm going to be standing outside of the bathroom for 2 fucking hours while those girls are in there fucking around. No, that's not entertaining for me. Rihanna could go in with them. If they decide that they're going to fuck around, they're girls. She's a girl. She can go in the girls' bathroom. Whereas me, I have to wait outside until a female comes by and say, hey, all right, I can't go in the girls' bathroom. Those 2 girls in there have been in there for an hour and a half. Could you please ask them to please come outside so that we can go back to the trailer? You know? It eventually got to the point where I had to ask random strangers at the fucking trailer park if I could use their phone to call the fucking cops. It got to the point where I was on the outside of the camper at one point. I'm unzipping the fucking rainfly because it's a pop-up camper. I'm unzipping the rainfly so the younger of the 2 girls, I can get her out of that bunk outside of the camper while Rihanna is still busy fucking smacking her and hovering over her. Meanwhile, this little girl is so fucking scared and petrified she can't fucking move. And I'm not going to pretend that out of all of the kids there, this is the one that is most like her Aunt Casey when her Aunt Casey was younger. Her Aunt Casey would start so much shit and then she would start crying out of nowhere and everybody's expected to feel sorry for her. Oh, poor Casey. But she wasn't always like that. Like, all right, if Rihanna was open-handed swatting these girls across the butt, I'm pretty sure that is legal in Wyoming, since the cops told me that it's legal, but I didn't look it up. But not the way that she was smacking them, and not where she was smacking them. You don't smack them on the back of the head. You don't smack them on the side of the head, especially flat-palmed. I mean, that's a strike, not a slap. That's not like spanking someone in the face. That's like decking somebody in the face. Not cool. You can't fucking do that. There's also the fact that Rihanna and I were supposed to be helping each other, and how the hell am I even going to help myself when she can't stop drinking long enough to get anything accomplished? I'm having to try to do these girls' fucking paperwork with Rihanna and keep Rihanna conscious to do this. I'm having to explain to Rihanna, hey, I don't have a way to contact Amy Spencer. I don't have a way to do it. I mean, I actually did. I could have contacted her on Facebook, which it would have been great if I'd have been under a lot less stress, because what was going through my head is that I didn't have Amy's phone number. But Amy was supposed to be going and serving 4 months so that she could get her kids back. She just had to serve her time for getting busted with meth again. Yeah, Rihanna fucking lied. Yes, I had to fucking plead guilty to something I didn't fucking do so I could get a goddamn computer back that was full of evidence. Those cops had no fucking right or business doing what they did. And you can also see that interaction. I didn't get to post that up until after what? After I had to fucking plead guilty to a crime I didn't commit. When I tell you about Brandon Ratner and fucking give me that big ass long ride. Yeah, that legit did fucking happen. That's one of the things he tried throwing in my face. I was like, you can't fucking do that. I already admitted to that shit. I already told all of these stories on fucking YouTube. You told these stories on YouTube. If you want to pretend like I never, ever said any of the good shit that you did for me, go back and fucking take a look. When people sent you videos, they didn't send you through all of those months and months of me saying all of the good things that you were trying to do and how they weren't fucking working and why. What do you do when you want to fucking hate on me? You want to throw that shit in my face that you did all those things and treat me like shit because you're why? Well, with all due respect, both of those prove that the cops lied. Why didn't you go to the fucking cops? Why didn't you write a fucking police report? Even after the fact, even after being forced by physical torture, psychological torture, and cutting me off from my friends, my family, my evidence, it was still possible to get a day in court against those motherfuckers because that evidence shows that those cops slandered me in fucking court on court fucking documents. They broke the fucking law outright. Your words on YouTube and Facebook prove that. The fact that I was there to verify it with you is an added witness. But there's also the fact that these people didn't do the right thing. And that really goes to show their content of character. It goes to show that they're not the great and mighty heroes they were claiming to be. Or the great and mighty heroes I thought them to be, or chatted them up to be. With the people I knew in, I spoke about what I knew of them, who they used to be. It's not who they are anymore. With these other folks, I chatted about my hopes. I didn't know them, so I had to just hope for the best. People kept telling me, have faith, have faith, have faith. Well, I went, I tried. I had so much faith that I invested everything that I had into having faith in you, and you said to have faith, and I got there, and my faith was obviously misplaced. My faith was misplaced at Brett Roloff's. That video of him searching through his own feces in Bristol, Virginia, I mean, that shows, yeah, my faith was misplaced. So I'm going to post up some of the screenshots that I got on my Facebook. I'm going to do that as soon as I stick my phone back in my cooler, because it's getting pretty goddamn warm. There's my cooler. And after that, I should be able to post those things on my Facebook. I encourage you to look. It's Sean Schwartz, ShawnSchwartz. It's the purple and teal ribbon is my Facebook profile picture. That's domestic violence and sexual assault ribbon. And you'll be able to take a look at them. I'm pretty sure most of you who are going to see this video will see it after I've already finished. You might not see it, if you're in New Zealand or Australia, which is where a lot of my viewers are from, you won't see it until tonight, and I'll probably be on tonight making videos anyway, so you'll be talking shit with me, which is cool. Through all this, people wanted to throw it in my face that months and months and months and months after the fact, after literally hundreds of crimes have taken place against me, hundreds of pieces of evidence of harassment have been recorded by me and archived and are ready and prepared for whenever there is somebody who is, willing to do their fucking job. But then through all the losses, all of the thefts, all of the harassment, all of the constant movement, and all of my money being wasted. The fact that I had to give officers prior knowledge of my intent to turn them in on YouTube and Facebook, just in case they did something to prevent me from doing those things. And in every one of those cases, they still did those things, even knowing that I spoke my intent on YouTube beforehand. Now, there's recordings with Leslie Snell where I'm bitching at her because I got people fucking still harassing me over the Natalie Bollinger situation. I got people who ended up being gaslighters like Mandy Hughes and Alyssa Rainwater wanting to go to my predators like Scott DaCosta. They knew. See, that's the thing with Mandy Hughes and Alyssa Rainwater. They were going to help me take down Dual County Sheriff Scott DaCosta and expose the situation in Colorado, but they didn't. They didn't. Some of the things that they said that they did, I can verify they did those things, and I have. Some of the other things that they claim they did, well, they need to prove it because I didn't see it. I don't know that they made those efforts. The courts don't know that they made those efforts. The public doesn't know that they made those efforts. And there is no documentation or police reports of such and said, well, attempts at whatever it is they claim that they did. Like Alyssa Rainwater, yes, I can verify she came to see me when I was in jail. I can't verify that she went to court dates that I was prevented from going to. She drove all the way there, according to her, to go to my court date, and they canceled it. Well, I remember a court date getting canceled. Perhaps it was canceled because she showed up. Nearly every time that I had someone that actually would go in with me, they postponed it again and again and again. And then when they pulled the illegal bullshit that they did blatantly in fucking court, like telling me that either I had to plead guilty to a crime that I did not commit, Clearview Behavioral Health, when I was trying to turn them in. You know what I was trying to do? I was trying to use the phone to call 911. That's right. I was trying to turn them in while I was in there, and still trying to turn in Waylon Lolatai. Here's how it went. Adams County asked me to go to Boulder. Then they utilized Boulder in order to threaten, harass, intimidate, and fucking assault me repeatedly. And then to arrest me on bullshit. Then I was assaulted by Boulder Police Department in the hospital. And that assault continued. In the ambulance, they didn't assault me. As soon as we got out of the ambulance, the assaults and the fucking head games started up again. Now here's the thing, is that when they apply pressure points, or they make sure that your cuffs are wedged sideways with your wrist in them, and then they lay you on top of them, it doesn't fucking feel good. Then you got one officer who is yelling at you, don't move, don't move, don't move, don't struggle. And you got the other one who's saying, he's playing possum, he's playing possum. So they're manhandling you because you're not moving, and then they're manhandling you because you're moving. And no matter what, you're doing something wrong. If you don't move, you're playing possum. If you do move, you're resisting. You can't do anything. Meanwhile, none of that shit would have happened if I hadn't been forced out into that fucking situation. Could Miss Peaches have stopped after over a year of pretending she was going to help me, and then she finally got the fucking point of what a serious fucking situation it is? We were going to work on that after fucking dinner, and what happens? I get a phone call saying Natalie's missing. Now, Miss Peaches, a.k.a. Kayla Trujillo, she's verified in conversations with me on my fucking YouTube channel, recorded on my YouTube channel, that verify that happened. She also, because we were talking about one of her friends who was a mutual friend of ours at that point, who was an officer, she was telling me that she used to sell drugs to that particular officer before she was an officer. What I fucking tell you, I had to go to fucking drug dealers. That's who I had to go to for help when all of these professionals that you guys wanted to tell me after Natalie, I got to call all these people after Natalie, I got to go see these people after Natalie. But hold on a second, I got fucking shit tons of records that show that I was doing those things before Natalie was killed. And every time false charges take away my resources and allow my fucking predators to steal my evidence and prevent me from turning them in, there should have been somebody there to stop that from happening to begin with. There's all these laws that are supposed to protect disabled people. But you ignore all of those laws, you call us mentally ill, and you pretend we're all going to be the next school fucking shooter. It's just a matter of time. Well, guess what? If you go out of your way to make somebody's life a living hell over a fucking assumption you made, they might fucking shoot you. They might. Lucky for you fucking crazy shits, I'm not as crazy as you pretend I am. You get to see when people did wrong shit to me. I had to go to YouTube and Facebook about the situation before any attempt of going to the cops. Now, of course, that gives these people all sorts of incentive and all sorts of prior knowledge of the situation, especially given you can see in these Natalie Bollinger groups, yes, people were getting onto my Facebook and then fucking talking shit about me in these Natalie Bollinger groups. The very same people who were getting a hold of me and, well, like Kara Johnson Miles, for example, who got to, all the way from Texas, have her shit in my fucking court date. Outright slander. Literally, she's one of the people I was trying to turn in that situation. That's another one of them. I spoke out on my fucking Facebook. I explained, yeah, I'm doing this because I fucking have to. I have to find some way of getting a court date against these fucking monsters without any real help. What I needed before Natalie Bollinger fucking died was someone to go in with me to turn it in so the cops would take it fucking seriously. 6 years later, I'm still having to move around and fill out paperwork for places that are obviously not being fucking professional because still I have to go in alone. How the fuck am I going to be able to settle and get safe somewhere when it's going to take me fucking 6 weeks of jumping through their hoops and doing all of their paperwork just for them to do the same goddamn thing Jen Beebe did? After she was supposed to be my advocate and was court ordered for 6 months that she ignored me,